In this video, you're going to create a table of values for proportional relationships. So we're going to look at two examples that demonstrate how to do this. The first example says Mrs. Smith gives out reward tickets in her classroom. 10 tickets can be turned in to redeem one prize out of her prize bucket. Complete the ratio table below with equivalent ratios that show the relationship between the number of tickets a student has earned and the number of prizes that he or she is eligible to receive. So we basically have to create a ratio table. Now let's look at what we know. We know that 10 tickets can be turned in to redeem out one prize in her prize bucket. So we can go ahead and fill out the number of tickets. Well, if Mrs. Smith has 10 tickets, then you can get one prize. And this is actually the unit rate. This is something that we talked about in the video. Unit rate is the amount of one quantity. So whenever we're talking about, one, that's the unit rate. 10 tickets per one prize. All right, if we were just going to continue and we had 20 tickets, how many prizes would you get? So that would be 2. So if we're looking at the proportional relationship, in other words, how are we getting from 10 to 1 every time? We're basically dividing by 10. So to get from here to here, we're dividing by 10. To get from 20 to 2 every time, we're dividing by 10. And so if we had 30 tickets to figure out the number of prizes, we would just continue that pattern of dividing by 10, which 30 divided by 10 is 3. And then let's say we were just going to jump to 50, because ratio tables don't necessarily have to have a pattern this way going horizontally, but they should, when you're going vertically, you should always divide by 10, divide by 10, divide by 10. So that part has to be proportional. So if we take 50 and we divide that by 10, then this number would be 5. All right, so that is the conclusion of the first example. Let's go ahead and look at example number 2. Example number 2 says the ratio of green marbles to blue marbles is 3 to 1 for a given pouch full of marbles. Fill in the ratio table below with equivalent ratios that could reflect the number of blue marbles and green marbles that are contained in the pouch. So for this one, you really have to be careful with the order, because 3 to 1 doesn't represent blue to green, it represents green marbles to blue marbles. So pay attention to this. The green goes first, that's the 3, and the blue represents the 1. So here it says number of blue marbles. So this would actually be a 1, and the number of green marbles is 3. So for every blue marble you have 3 greens. So how are we getting from 1 to 3? Well, we're multiplying by 3. So that's the proportional relationship. Each time we're multiplying by 3. So if we had 2 blue marbles, we would have, if we had 2 blue marbles, we would have 2 times 3, which is 6 green marbles. And if we had 5, how many green marbles would we have? That's right, we would have 15, because 5 times 3 is 15. So if I had 8 blue marbles, then that means that we would have 24 green marbles. And that is how you fill out a ratio table. So now if you look at the remaining problems that you have in your notes, go ahead and try to do those on your own.